Hey, we are live. Okay. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday and happy half hour Thursday.
Woo!
And
Cheers to everybody.
cheers. What are you drinking today, Sam?
You know, I'm being boring again. Well, it's not boring. I'm drinking my favorite, my Tama tea, Tama tea, brewed here locally. Green tea. This is the peach pear sparkling green tea. But I decided to spice it up a little bit. I'm drinking it out of my Seaview Crab Company koozie. So supporting one of my favorite local businesses. Neil and I'd like to get seafood from. What about you, Dad?
I am drinking iced tea, not even the herbal stuff. I'm drinking the high test stuff today. You know, I found that it's better if I drink tea at these things. I'll make up for it later. I promise.
That's true. We got to keep you sharp.
Keep me sharp. You don't want me to lack my sharpness, you know?
And hey, everybody out there.
If you in case this is your first time, I'm David Shikavich, and this is
Sam Shikavich.
We are the father-daughter partners in Carolina, retirement planners here in Wilmington, downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. Although I'm in Wilmington, and Sam, you're kind of south of town, right?
I mean, I'm in the my mail's address to Wilmington.
You are in Wilmington. Yeah. So, and with us also is Amy. Say hi, Amy. Oh, she's got to take
hello. Sorry, I'm like multitasking, you know.
Okay.
Here.
Amy is our director of client fun, and she is also the one that knows how to get Zoom to link with Facebook and make all this happen. You know, she also knows what day it is. What day is today, Amy? What's special about today?
Well, today is National Homemade Soup Day. It's also National Sweater Day, but better homemade soup. And I'm making some borscht for real, like true story, homemade borscht.
You know.
I had some homemade soup for lunch today that my lovely mother made me. It was a white bean and kale soup.
That is, she does make good soup.
And
she's making, as we speak, she's making chili. And I'm going to the cabin this weekend. I'm going to go up there alone. And I always just take chili, and every night I eat chili. Goes really good with the red wine I drink every night, you know, and it's just, so have a good time.
Yeah. So we are definitely, what is everybody's your favorite homemade soup? Your favorite to make, your favorite to have made for you? You know, it's definitely sweater weather and soup weather, I think, right now, for sure.
And we have Bill, Bruce, Cindy, our top fan, Miranda, Brad,
Tom and Ginny.
I talked to them today.
It's up in Connecticut, where it must be very snowy.
Oh, you know, just I don't envy you. That was apparently a good storm, you know. Lanny is here, and another regular. Martha is another regular.
And Jeff is here.
Jeff, Robert.
And Bob and Val. Ooh, Bruce says it's also National Carrot Cake Day.
He always likes to chime in with the other days. There's always a list. I love it. I love that he's on it too. Thanks for keeping me on my team.
I do love a good carrot cake.
It's good to see we got people with a good carrot cake. Yeah.
And Fernando's here. Hey, Fernando.
Hey.
All right.
And Teresa. That is another good family member on, Nadine. We have a really good presentation. This is one of my favorite presentations. You know, as many of you know, I have done workshops at UNCW and Brunswick Community College. Sam's been with me the last couple of years, but I've been doing them for somewhere over 10 years. And I do a lot of different things in the workshops. And this next example is my favorite. It is my best example ever. It's a little long, so to keep it within 20 minutes, or half an hour total, I kind of want to get going now. So I'm gonna go switch to the other camera, and we're gonna get started now.
While you're doing that, Laney likes to make chicken rice soup or chili, and Cindy likes an African sweet potato peanut soup. That sounds really cool.
Mm.
Bruce likes taco soup, and also welcome to Nadine and Tom. All right, Dad, I'm gonna go away and let you take it.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about the 3 tax traps that are lying in wait. If you have an IRA, a 401k, these are tax traps that are lying in wait for it that you probably don't even know about. And this story actually involves 2 of my favorite characters. They are Jack and Jill. Now, Jack and Jill are sort of the quintessential, American couple. They live in a little Midwestern town. They fell in love in kindergarten. And the day after their high school graduation, they got married. Yeah, it is touching.
That's
And
sweet.
they weren't adventurous in the sense that they didn't like to travel. They spent their entire life in this little town. And like I say, they got married at 18. And although they weren't, didn't like to travel, they were hard workers and they had that entrepreneurial American spirit. And like right after high school, they went and they started their own business. They started a little municipal water system in this town. And from the time they were 18 till they were 62, they worked hard at this municipal water system. And when they were 62, they retired. And when they retired, they had a pension. And they had a pension of $120,000 a year. Nice pension. And they never really spent much when they were, through their life. They were very frugal. And like many people are frugal, they were great savers. And when they put money in Jack's IRA all those years, and when they retired, Jack had $1 million in his IRA. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Now, when they retired, they started, they're getting this $120,000 pension. I want to look at the taxes on this pension to start. And that's where I want to bring in some tax tables. Kind of hate to do that, but we do have to kind of do this to understand. So here are tax tables for a married couple and a single person, okay? And I've kind of laid it out over here. Now, to understand how the tax traps work and to understand how you can get around them, you kind of got to know a little bit about tax brackets. And I'm going to explain it here as quickly and easily as I can. So Jack and Jill have $120,000 coming in. So that's right about here. Yeah. Now, if you look at how tax brackets work, everything, if you're married, between 0 and 9,750 is taxed at 10%. And then everything from 19,750. And then everything from 19 to about 80,000 is taxed at 12%. And everything between 80 and 171 is taxed at 22. Everything between 171 and 24 and 326 is taxed at 24, and then up to 414, it's 32. This is married couples. Do we have any single people on? I bet you Sam, we must have some single folks on here too, right? So
I bet that we do.
Let's go look at the tax brackets for single folks, not to let them out.
I think that's fair. We should be inclusive here.
Yeah. So everything between 0 and 9,875 is taxed at 10. Everything from 9,000 up to 40,000 is taxed at 12. 40 to 85 is 22. 85 to 163 is 24. Then we got 32, and then everything from 207 to 518 up there is 35. That's kind of interesting. If you look at this, 40,000 here is just half of 80. So like the 12% bracket for a single person is only half of a 12% bracket for a man. In fact, if you look at them, this is half of this, this is half of this, this is half of this, this is half. It's like everything's half. It's like if you're single, taxes go up twice as fast. But I guess that makes sense. If there's two of you, you should get twice the tax break as if you're a single person. Interesting. Okay, so let's go back. Jack and Jill, they are here and they are earning about earning $120,000. We can get rid of that now. They're earning $120,000. So they're paying some 10%, some 12%. But what's important is what their marginal rate is. And the money they pay on another dollar, the highest tax rate they're paying on their money, and that is 22%. See, they're in the 22% bracket. Now, let's go back and think about this for a second. Jack and Jill never spent anywhere near $120,000 a year when they were working. This is more money than they ever spent. And they're like most people who are frugal while they're working, they're not about to spend a lot now. So they're banking, they're putting a bunch into a money market every year. You know, if you went, Sam, if someone went to their accountant or their brother-in-law or probably their advisor and said, hey, you know, I got $1 million in my IRA, but I don't really need it. I mean, I got this 120,000 pension is more than enough for me right now. What are they likely to tell them to do with that million? What are they going to say you should do?
Just leave it there.
Yeah.
Let it grow.
Do you pay tax on it as it grows?
No.
No, you know,
just wait, pay the taxes later.
You're only 62. You don't have to take any of that money out. You could just let it grow and get bigger. So that's what they do. They just say, okay, we're going to let it grow. And I'll tell you something else about Jack and Jill. They were really good. They were really good investors too. And they let it grow for 10 years, 10 years and 10 years. And over those 10 years, they earned 7.2%. Now, anybody out there know the rule of 72? Sam, if you earn 7.2% on your money and over the next 10 years, what happens?
It's going to double.
It's going to double. And so that $1 million has grown now to $2 million. But you know, they started at 62. 10 years later, how old are they? They're 72. Now, 72 is a magic number. That magic number used to be 70 and a half. It's now 72. And what happens? What do you have to do at age 72?
You have to take your RMDs.
You have to take your RMDs. Government said, you've had that money. Did we do RMDs lately? Wasn't that last week?
That was last week.
Last week, we taught all about RMDs. You can go back and watch the recording if you missed that one. But so at 72, the RMDs for a person are about 4%. Look, and 4% of 2 million, let's see, if it was 1 million, it'd be 40,000. It's 2 million, so it must be 80,000. So Jack's going to have to take at age 72 now, he's going to have to take $80,000 out and pay the tax on it. But remember, he's also bringing in 120. So we got 120 plus 80. What does that come out to?
200,000.
200,000. He's got to bring in, he's got to pay tax now on 200,000. Let's go over here and put 200,000 in. So if he's bringing in 200,000, what bracket is he in now? He's in the 24% marginal bracket. See, the IRA money also gets poured on top of all your pension and Social Security money. So it's taxed at the highest rates. And now he's in a higher tax bracket. This is lesson number one. If you've got an IRA, even worse if you got a big IRA, 401k, 403b, TSP, all those things, and you just say, well, I'm going to let it grow. I'm not going to touch it. I just don't need it. What may very well happen is when you go and RMDs kick in, you're going to it'll drive you into a higher tax bracket. And you're going to end up paying more taxes on it than you would have. Now, you see, he's before this, when they were 62, they were at 120,000. If you think about it, between 120 and 171 is the rest of that 22% bracket. They could have brought in or converted $50,000 a year of their IRA to, say, a Roth and kept in the 22% bracket. Probably could have paid the money with the extra money they're getting from their pension. Now, I didn't run the numbers here, but you could see if you had $2 million and you took $500,000 out over that time, when RMDs did kick in, instead of pushing you into the 24, you'd probably stay in the 22. So there's some strategies you can use to pay taxes now at a lower rate. Always pay taxes at the lowest rate. You can pay taxes at a lower rate, convert to a tax-free Roth, and get it growing. So that's lesson number 1. We're now going to go to lesson number 2. And, you know, I know it's 4:30 and we like to have a happy half hour, but this is going to get sad from here on in.
Oh, Dad.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, man.
Because you see, when Jack gets to 72, all those years he spent hauling buckets of water up and down that hill have given him a bad heart. And at 72, he dies.
Oh.
Now, the bright side, though, is Jill still has this $120,000 pension, and Jill inherits his $1 million IRA.
Or
Okay?
$2 million.
I'm sorry, $2 million IRA. Thank you. You know, so she's kind of doing pretty well. But when Jack died, something else happened to Jill, something big that a lot of people aren't thinking about. When Jack dies, Sam, what changes for Jill when Jack dies?
Jill starts filing on the single, that other.
She's now single. When one spouse dies, the other spouse is defined as single. There's like sometimes a year, depending when you die, where you can file jointly. But in a year or so, you're going to be a deceased or a surviving spouse will be filing single, go into this tax bracket. Now, she still has 120,000 in pension and 80,000 RMDs because she's 72. She still has this $200,000 income here, right? But now, what marginal bracket is she in as a single person? 32%.
Oh, that's way worse.
It's way worse. And this is the second lesson. If you're married, when one of you dies, the other one's filing single, and you're in this place where taxes go up twice as fast, essentially. You know, we have a saying, us financial, retirement planners have a saying, a widow has, half the income and twice the taxes. And, it's probably the woman who's going to be the survivor. 80% of men die married. 80% of women die single. So, we men crap out and the ladies go on for a long time. And when they do, they're paying all these extra taxes. So that's lesson number 2, is that, you should think even harder about converting here while not only your RMDs haven't kicked in, but while you're both still alive. By the way, remember, RMDs cannot be converted to a Roth. That we talked about that last time. Now,
but you can convert over the RMD. Once you take it to RMD,
you can convert more than that.
More than that, and you can convert at any age. I'm answering a question that came in.
Yep. Now, one third lesson, and it gets sadder still.
Oh, Dad, come on.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's Thursday.
Jack and Jill have slept together side by side in the same bed for what, 62 to 70, 18 to 70 to 54 years. They have slept side by side. And so soon after Jack dies of a bad heart, Jill dies of a broken heart.
No.
That's the worst.
Jill.
Now, I didn't talk about their heirs. They, in fact, had one child. They had a girl, and her name is Mary. This is where everyone realizes why I went into engineering and not art, you know?
Yeah.
So they had a little
Poor
girl,
Mary.
Mary, and you know, Mary never wanted to be to work in. She never cared for the municipal water system. Hauling buckets of water up and down this hill all day was not for her. But she was still a hard worker. She was still entrepreneurial, good work ethic. And you know, since she was a little girl, she loved animals. You ever know a little girl like that? They just love animals from day one. And so soon after she got out of high school, she went and started her own business raising sheep. And she started a company called Mary's Little Lamb Meat Company.
Oh.
Okay, that is most awesome. I love it.
And she raised grass-fed, organic, hand-rubbed lambs. And she, like every night, she would fly steaks off, put them on a plane and fly them to those restaurants with stars on each coast. And her lamb meat was a big hit in a culinary delight for all those gourmet restaurants. And she was making a bunch of money. She was making $300,000 a year herself. Now she is still single. I don't know whether she found a guy she liked better than the lambs. Also, you got to realize when you're working in the stalls all day, you come home, it's like hard to get ready to date, you know. She'll find the right guy eventually, I'm sure. In fact, you know, there's a dating site for farmers only, but right now she's filing single. Now, the pension goes away, but she inherits the $2 million IRA. That comes to her. Now, it changed last year. It used to be Mary could take a little bit of that out every year and spread it over her life expectancy. They changed the rules last year, and now she has to take all $2 million out of the IRA in 10 years. In 10 years. And let's just say she took out 10% a year. 10% of 2 million is $200,000. So she's here earning $300,000, and now we got to add 200,000 to it. She's way up here, and all that's being taxed at the 35% marginal rate. See, so this is lesson number 3. If you're planning on leaving your IRA to the kids, by the time they get it, they're probably in their peak earning years. You know, it's going to be dropped on top of all their salary, wages, everything else, and be taxed at their highest rate. They now have to, the stretch IRA is dead. They got to take it all out in 10 years. Again, another reason to think way ahead of time and take it out earlier. Another factor, besides just, you know, that a reason to do this planning is these tax rates that we saw here are on sale. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2018 cut the tax rates, but they didn't cut spending. And so they have to sunset in 5 more years to January 1st, 2026. The 12% bracket goes back to 15. The 22% bracket goes back to 25. The 24% bracket goes back to 28. Could happen sooner. We have a new administration. We also are putting trillions of dollars at a time on our country's credit card. So it's kind of obvious that taxes have to go up. But if Congress does nothing, something they're pretty good at doing, the law will change and these rates will automatically go up. So another reason to do it now. So this is the Jack and Jill story, the 3 tax traps. If you just ignore it and let it grow, it'll put you in a higher bracket. When you die, your spouse will be in a higher bracket. And if you leave it to the kids, they got to take it out even more rapidly than before, and it'll probably be taxed even more. So I hope this was helpful. There are ways to get around this. We alluded to them. Some of our other videos, by the way, all 30 videos that we've done, this is our 31st video. All 30 happy half hours are there for the watching, you know? So, oh, I have a couple giveaways. How can they get these giveaways? One of them is we have a little booklet, and we only have it on paper. So we can have it delivered to your house by a nice mailman, and you don't have to try to read it on your cell phone. This is
Or mailwoman.
Paying too much in taxes in retirement.
Employee.
We also have, these numbers are for 2020. We got the new 2021 numbers, the tax rates, the changes, and you may want to get this is great to have a copy of. And this one sheet has everything you can want. Tell you what else, I know sometimes on these videos, especially one with all this information, it's hard to see. If you request these, we'll also put in a copy of this whiteboard so you can go back, watch the video again in the recording and follow along even more closely. So, okay.
Really quickly, if I just want to make a comment, if anybody would like any of those copies, if they just send us an email to info@carolinarp.com, I'll put that in the Facebook comments. We'll get that mailed out to them.
Yeah, if you had an email you got the email that invites you here. For our clients, we routinely go through this. We got fancy little software we use to calculate headroom and all this stuff. If you are a guest here, this is, you're not a client, and you would like to just sit down and have a look and see your situation. I always like to start with a 15-minute phone call, no cost obligation. How do they get in the same way to just to email us at info?
Yeah, they can do that. They can, I'll put this in the comments as well. They can also give us a call at 910-815-3100. But even easier, I'm going to put a link to your calendar where they can just click it and directly schedule a 15-minute phone call if that's okay with you.
Okay, that sounds good. And so you got several ways, it's good stuff. People need help, and this is the phone number. We can just start and have a 15-minute phone call and see what we got some cool. I don't know if anybody was here for the one we did, how to pay the most in taxes, but we've got some software will show how much you're going to pay in taxes over the years if you do what Jack was doing. And it's scary. It's really interesting to see. So, well, Sam, we are just about at the end. Is it time for a drawing? And then we'll tell you what next week's going to be.
Yeah, I've got a lot of names in my cup this time. I don't know if anyone has noticed. I don't know if my backgrounds have ever been that compelling, but after being out of my home for, 4 or 5 months now, we had done a bunch of renovations on our house. I am finally back in. So I need to make my background more compelling now, but I've got a new cup. Well, I might try to find a better cup than this, but this is the best I could find.
Can I just say that I am so excited for you, Sam? Like, so excited.
It's real exciting. I was in luckily, while I was not in my home, I was in a condo on Carolina Beach that did have a really spectacular view of the ocean.
We're always on Zoom, and she's saying, "Oh, look at the whale! Look at the dolphins!"
I did see a lot of really excellent wildlife, but I am very grateful to be home. But that being said, the moment that everyone's been waiting for. So if you are not familiar with this, if you're looking and you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? we are about to do a drawing for 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your house from Fermental Bottle Shop. Fermental is a really cool locally owned bottle shop located out in Ogden. And to enter throughout the week, we send out, if you're on our email list, we send out a couple of different emails letting you know about our topic of the week. And if you respond, letting us know you want to be entered into the wine drawing with a potential topic, with questions about the topic that are upcoming. If you tell us that you forward this to a friend throughout the week, we will enter you in twice. Pretty much any way that you want to enter. If you've asked questions during this presentation, then we will enter you in as well for next week's. So pretty much however I can get your name in this cup, I will, you know, we like
to know you're here. So we call your name. You can go, ooh, you know, we can picture you dancing there at home.
Yeah, I had a lot of slips to put in this week.
And honestly, I really think you guys just like to give away wine.
I love it. This is my favorite part. I never was a person who won raffles. I always was, I never have that luck to win anything.
Personally, it's my second favorite thing to do with wine.
Oh, well, what's your first favorite thing to do? Can we guess?
Sure.
You like to purchase it and give it to your daughter? See what I did there?
Nope.
Oh, but like I was trying to say, is I never used to win raffles. I was always somebody who, you know, never won anything. And so it brings me a lot of joy to help people win raffles. And not only that, but to help them win some of my favorite things in the world, which is wine. Okay, so our winner this week, oh, I'm so excited. It's Bev and Ray C.
Ooh.
Bev and Ray, I don't believe that they have won once at all, and they enter every week. And they actually were entered in twice this week because they sent this to a friend, but they enter in every week, and I've been really excited for them to win.
If you
Congratulations.
If you recommend it to a friend, you get another entry for each friend you tell us about. So we like to get the word out, and this is a good way to do it. These again are all recorded on Carolina Retirement Planners Facebook page, so you can go back.
If you scroll up to the top of our page and click videos, you should have access to all of them. And
we're going to be sending out a list of them all and links to them too. We now got enough. We can put a big long list. It's pretty. It's impressed even me. We did all that, you know. So okay, what's our topic next week? Amy, we figured out a topic, didn't we?
We did, and I'm just going to say it has something to do with GameStop and the crazy mania.
Yes, you all, if you've been following the news, you've seen that GameStop had this one group of people, little, you know, the classic nerds living in their parents' basement seemed to bring down a big several
billion-dollar hedge fund,
causing $14 billion losses in one day, sort of thing. And it's really interesting, the mechanics of how it all works, and even more what it means. And we're going to touch on that and kind of show you the actual workings on that next Thursday. And that's Thursday at what time?
4:30.
4:30, happy half hour. You want to have your drinks ready and be ready for a GameStop, you know, expose. And until then, it has been fun. Let us know if you'd like to chat or want some of these documents, and have a great week.
Cheers.